What's going on, family? So I did a interview today with a good special person that's dear to my heart, Dani Daniels. She's a close friend of mine. She's like a sister. Um, we did an interview about postpartum depression, which is a big deal. It's a big thing, not only for women but in the African American community. So we had a long, in-depth conversation. Um, how she perceived pregnancy prior to actually having the baby, and then once she had birth, you know, it was a whole different idea than what she thought prior to having the baby. So it was a great conversation, very in depth. She was very personable. I called it just a conversation with Dani D because that's just what it is, having a quick conversation. Uh, I believe talking is therapeutic, whether you're talking with a therapist or you're talking with yourself or you're talking with a friend. And it was just us having a good conversation. I want you guys to, I really did want you guys to see her, but we were having technical issues with the audio from the video. So I have it up on Apple Podcasts, and I have it up on Spotify, and then the hosting site, obviously Podbeam, which goes everywhere else. I'm making this video just to put it out on YouTube, and then I'll attach the audio to it, and so you guys will be able to hear it on YouTube, but you'll just be able to see me. It was, like I said, a great interview, special. I love her. She's a beautiful woman. Follow her on Instagram at Dani Dani _KALING. Again, that's Dani ANI_KALING. She's also starting her new lash business, Lashes by Dani. So look out for that. And you know, I do apologize again that I couldn't get the video with her. Um, with the actual video, with the actual interview, but I'm assuming, I hope that you guys would like it and love it and get something from it, from her perspective, like we always do here. We're not teachers, we're not coaches, we just talk from our own personal experience. All right, so with nothing more, I'm going to play the video, and just remember, always be unapologetically Black. I know all the specific terminology, and that's an excuse, so let me not just say that, because that is an excuse, so we should know. But specifically, what about the child birthing process um, put you in a postpartum state of mind?
Um, that's really a tough question, Joshua.
Oh, look at me, Oprah.
My goodness.
To Dr. Phil over here.
I feel like it's more, for me, I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself. But I feel like for me, it was the realization that you have this, human being that you have control over, or I should say responsible for instead of control. It probably sounds so.
Yeah, but you still control over, yes. At until he turns 18.
But yeah, you are responsible for this, perfect little human being, right? That is a perfect white canvas. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to help, I guess, create this art piece or this, work of art. And you just, it's really hard. Like, can I do it? Am I doing the right thing all the time? Every time you look on the internet, it's something new, it's something different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's everyone, posting these things, and everyone saying this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong, and even the doctor, the doctor's telling me that I overfeed my child, and he eats like a normal baby. I think to me, his breakfast, his fruits, his yogurt,
Mm-hmm.
he eats lunch with me, he eats dinner with me, he drinks, his water and stuff, and she's telling me that I am overfeeding my baby. So it's really a
I don't
lot.
understand how someone who isn't with you can tell you how you are doing with your baby. Are you in my home, ma'am? So is it more so being, I'll say, raising the child by yourself as a single mother? Is it that part that's hard? Um, I'm not say hard, but I guess gives it that thinking. Well, can I continue to do this? Like, am I able to continue to do this by myself? Is that part of it as well?
No, I think right now it's not even, I that part of it doesn't play anything on it. I've just gotten over that part, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I dealt with that, I've gotten over it. But it's just me as a person, having to be responsible for this person. How can I do it? Am I doing the right thing as, myself, inside of myself? Am I doing the right thing, to help raise this child? And I don't know, I guess that and like just society on itself and everything they, think about childhood and then motherhood after childhood. Like after pregnancy, motherhood is another stage that really knocks you out. It can knock you all the way out. You have to be so strong, after that. Because everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks they are right and you're wrong. Or, they have the right way. Everyone thinks they can tell you what you have to do with your child, about your child. And they play no part in your child's life.
So waking up every morning and seeing, because I want to understand how postpartum depression plays in, I guess, the daily lives of a new mother, I guess. Waking up every morning and seeing the beautiful baby, feeding him, doing all the things that you do just to make sure that he doesn't worry about anything. Where does it come in the day that you start questioning your motherhood, or it says, weight gain, people gain up to 40 more pounds after having the baby, after 6 weeks having the baby, or they think about giving the baby away, like after doing all of these things for the baby. Where does that play in, and why is, I never even watching them. I was watching a movie one day, and the woman, she was going through it. She didn't know if she wanted to keep the baby after having it. She was going through postpartum depression. She even left the baby on the steps of someone else's, but went back and got the baby, after staying in the car and thinking about it. I just never understood that. Why go, you're going through so much just to have this beautiful thing, and then you question it. Well, where does that play in throughout the day after just waking up and feeding them and all that good stuff?
I mean, sometimes you wake up and you're not even in, your normal mind frame. Like you're just out of it. Sometimes there are days that I don't even want to get up and get out of bed. Some days it's harder to get up and start the day. Thank God for like my sister and friends and stuff, but it is really hard. It's good that Darian's dad takes him.
Mm-hmm.
And we co-parent and stuff, but I have him majority of the time, and I have to deal with this within myself, right?
Yeah.
Still be mommy and still be okay mommy, because I still don't want him to see this play out, in front of him.
Like you
Really.
crying or you feeling sad. Yeah.
Right. Even if he's that young, I feel like, our parents growing up, they never really thought about things like this, especially in the islands growing up. I mean, I was born and raised in Antigua, and no one, we don't talk about depression. Nobody cares really about depression when I
Definitely.
and especially with my mom, because although I am an Antiguan, my mom is a Dominican, and she is an old school Dominican. She, they do not think about things like that. They don't talk about things like that. My mom and I have not talked about a lot of things that I feel like, a mother should always speak to her child about, topics that we always, need to speak to our kids about growing up. And, it's not because she's a bad mother or anything like
Of
that.
course.
Amazing.
She is.
um, But, it's just the way that she was raised, and her parents was raised, and how, their parents were raised, and so forth and so forth. It's like that generational curse, right? That they talk about these days, that generational grip that is on a lot of us. We're trying to break. I am trying to break that, because the way that, I have to raise Darian, it has to be different. It has to be, a lot more open-minded, a lot more, open to things, understanding of things more so, right? So, but back to your question, it's really just sometimes you get up and you don't want to do anything. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to eat. You don't want to,
But why?
I can't tell you. It's a feeling.
Mm.
It's a feeling. It's like this mental thing that just plays on you. And it plays and it plays and it plays, and it just, you have to fight it. You have to fight it. Like, I'm telling you right now is when I'm opening up about it, because I kept it in for like the better part of Darian's, first year. But right now, I am dealing with that shit. I have to deal with that shit in order for me to be a better person.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So I really can't explain that feeling.
How does it and did it affect your work?
Well, I had a job that I thought would be like the best job. It would have ended up being the best job, but it ended up being one of the worst jobs. Well, I can't even say worst, because I did learn a lot. So I can't even say worst, but it was really terrible for my mental state. I worked underpaid. Working at a nonprofit is not the easiest thing.
It's not.
Do, the good thing, and also give back and stuff, but working at a nonprofit is really, really, really tough. It's really tough. It's not as easy, as people may think it is. So that really, for the better part of, let's say, for like 6 months after Darian was born, said my son's name, but 6 months after he was born, I kind of buried myself in work. It was mid-pandemic. Everything was going crazy. My mom was here, thank God. My sister was, at home, working from home remotely. And I had a lot of help. His dad was there, but I feel like I buried myself in work, in all of that work, so that I wouldn't have to deal with it. When my mom left, she went back to Antigua, of course, when they opened back up the borders. And I went, I was alone pretty much. My sister was there, don't get me wrong. His dad was there, friends were there, but now I'm really alone because I have full responsibility. When my mom was there, I could lay back, I could relax, do whatever. It's now me. Like, I really have to, take responsibility of my baby. And work being so tough, and then me realizing that I am going through postpartum and I have to deal with it, that blew a fuse. I feel like it really just, I think that woke me up, because I had gotten so down and out, like just so down and out. There were just days and days and days and days that he just didn't want to do anything. And my sister had to just, step in and be there and so forth. And his dad had to be there. But there were days I could not come out of bed. I could not, for nothing. But then, my sister looked at me and told me that she hates the person I'm becoming because of my job.
And she will tell you.
She
will tell you
the honest truth.
Yeah. And so you let the job go.
I let it go.
Okay, and so then it became more time about you and Darian.
Right.
And did that being alone with I said his name. I just thought we both said his name. And so is that time you spent alone did well you said you're still going through it now, but the time that you spend with your baby boy, are you finding yourself coming out of it, because you're seeing him grow, you're seeing, well, just from a personal standpoint, when I, around you and Darian, only person he wants to be with is his mommy. So I couldn't imagine you wanting to be without your son. That connection that I see the both of you have, and it's amazing because when I see my other friends with their new babies and how they interact with their new babies, it's more of a here you can take them. I've had them all day, but it's you don't want to. I want my child. You know what I mean? Give him to me, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So, do you feel like every little time you spend with him, the days you spend with him, the longevity that you are getting with him every day, is making you're coming out of the postpartum, state of mind?
Listen. A lot has gone on, a lot. But, I have finally started, feeling ground.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like I was not able to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
So finally feeling ground. Things are like falling into place right now. I really had to, like, the first thing I had to do was realize that I am going through this, right? And then I had to understand it and then learn how to deal with it and actually want to deal with it. Because if you don't want to deal with it, it's going to make it even harder.
Mm-hmm.
You want to deal with it, fix it, be better. And I did, and I have a therapist. I love her.
There you go. We all need therapy is, I always say, talking is the best medicine. And whether if you're talking to someone else or talking to yourself, just verbally speaking it makes it all better.
All the time. I talk to my plants.
So do I.
On plants right now. I'm trying not to kill it because I don't think I have a green thumb. So I am trying, but I speak to her daily. I speak to my crystals. I speak to myself. I speak to my son. He's now starting to speak. So,
Well, all about the green thumb. I've told you, I'm just now learning about plants. I mean, I have like 20 of them in my house now, but originally I had none, and I think taking care of plants is to me, is like taking care of a child. They grow slow, they mature slowly. They're always dependent on you. If you don't feed them, they'll die.
Yes, that is true.
Die. Okay, so it says here, we're getting ready to close it out. It says here how to avoid postpartum depression. Educate yourself about it. Sleep and eat properly. That's very important. Exercise. That's either going for a walk, going to the gym, walking the baby in the stroller. You live in a nice neighborhood now. Let your feelings be known in the delivery room, which you're past that. Enlist good support during birthing. Prepare yourself while childbirth. Enlist household help during postpartum period. So you just moved.
Wait. Before you go, I want to say really quickly on that, because I had a lot of help with my pregnancy. I had a lot. Delivery, just after delivery, I had a lot of help. My mom, and it still came.
It still came. So there's no way. It's either you're gonna get it or you're not gonna get it.
You just have to, you have to deal with it. You really have to understand pregnancy, because in my head I had a different picture.
Of course. Of course.
So you have to understand it and, prepare yourself and take your time. Because also things that you've been dealing with before can make it, even worse. So you have to, be open to not even to actually be open to work on yourself,
Okay. That's self-care. We talked about that in yesterday's episode, self-care. So, you moved into a new neighborhood. How are you liking your new home?
I love it. I mean, I love the kitchen, of course. I can't wait to turn my room into what I want it. I am...
Because literally, you just moved in there. Literally.
Just like Sunday.
Like, literally, so. Boxes are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
In the middle of moving, packing out, and stuff. But I am going to start back my DIY, projects. I'm going to create my headboard from scratch. I have this idea. I can't wait. And then I'm going to refurbish my dressers and nightstands and repaint them. Make a reading nook in my room as well. So,
Is that something you're going to do just for you, or are you going to do it for...
Well, the bedroom is like for myself and my son.
Okay. But you are working on something, right? Okay, so let's tell my listeners what you're working on so we can support.
So I am on a journey, my eyelash journey. I just started, but I think, this might be it for me. I know there is a lot of lash tags, guys, before you start saying there's too many.
They say that about podcasts, so and look at me.
There are a lot of lash tags and, great lash tags, but my sister one day told me, why don't you get into lashes? I'm not even sure why she said that, because I can't even put on the strip lashes. So I don't know why in the world she would even mention getting into doing individual lashes, but I actually did, and then right now I can actually do my strip lashes very well. And I'm excited for that. But yes, I am, at home practicing while, getting my son on his schedules, because I do plan on getting back into the, corporate world eventually, while doing my eyelash thing on this side. But I am excited. I'm going to practice, and then by summer, guys, I should be ready for you after I get my license and so forth.
Oh, snap. Okay, Lashes by Dani. It's amazing. Listen, I'm speaking it. Listen, speak things as if they were, the Bible says. Faith without works. Faith without works is dead. That's what the Bible says. So, you got to have that foundation. You got to have that base. And I am so happy and honored to be your friend. To be in your life. You and your sister are like family to me. I think we had this, before we close it out, we had this conversation last night, me and your sister, about not having anyone there. When I moved to New York City, I moved by myself. Same for you. When you moved here, you and your sister had no one here. You go through friends. Friends aren't like family. Family is always going to be there. So you go through friends. You think friends are family. You think friends are going to be there. You question whether it was you that dissolved.
But you also think if family is family too.
Well, family is family. Listen.
For us down.
Listen, family. That's true.
Down.
Listen, but family is forever. Family is for no matter what. Well, I look at that. I look at that. I mean, I made a podcast called Family Matters. So I even if you listen, even if you go, look, time heals all. That's my favorite. One of my favorite saying. Time. When you let time take its path and do its thing, you can do anything because time will never end. So from a year, 2 years, 3 years, even if you never speak to your family, there's going to be some point in life where you're going to have to, whether it becomes someone's dying or whether at a funeral or it doesn't matter. Someone's birthday,
Social,
you go home.
yeah, we can't
Cordial is
like
no,
strangers.
cordial is fine. Cordial is fine, but you never want me. This is my opinion. You never want to distance yourself from your foundation. You know.
Joshua, it's not you distancing yourself, but at the same time, if the person is not willing to, a part of moving, a part of healing is to accept that things will not always be the same, or just
Mm-hmm.
accept that, family just won't be family anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just be strangers, like strangers are, because
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. I have forgiven,
Mm-hmm.
but
That's the most important, forgiving.
so right now we could just be cordial because everyone is just, living and
Yeah, but they'll always be your family. They're not gonna not that's bloodline.
I
That
guess,
you can't take that bloodline out, and that's all I'm saying.
and
That's
that's fine. But just
But what I'm
I
saying,
find
what I'm saying is, because you are like family to me, and that's all I'm saying.
are
You and your sister, and that's what's most important. That you keep the ones your foundation, the people who keep you grounded with you and around you. That's all I'm saying. That's where I want you and your sister to know that I love you. I'm always here for you no matter what. You know me and Loic, we're always going to be there for you. And I'm just happy that you decided to come on and do this little interview with me and talk about your struggles with postpartum depression. All right.
definitely
I love you guys. This
love so
Thank
much.
you. Don't hang up yet because you're in the video. Um, guys, thank you for listening to another episode of Black Nutrition for Your Soul. Until next time, remember, always unapologetically black. Thank you. You listening to Black Nutrition.